All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's called to order. Roll call.
Mr. Collins.
Present.
Mrs. Lorain. Present. Dr. Sampson.
Present.
Dr. Solis. Present. Mrs. Zander. Present.
All right, approval of agenda. Is there a motion?
Is this the approval of this particular agenda? I make a motion that we change the agenda and add a hearing of the public.
So motion to change the agenda. Let's vote on it.
Mr. Coffin.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien. Yes. Dr. Sampson.
Yes.
Dr. Solis.
Yes.
Mrs. Zander.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So we will change the agenda to where we have a motion for public comment. And I think we have enough people here for that. Okay. All right, so we'll open. Well, let's approve the amended agenda.
I have a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Mr. Coffin.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Yes.
Dr. Sampson.
Yes.
Dr. Solis.
Yes.
Mrs. Zander.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to do our amended agenda, and we'll open up the floor, and the agency specifically, time on that is
30 minutes, no more than 5.
30 minutes, no more than 5 per person. Okay, 30 minutes, no more than 5 per person, and we get timekeeper? Okay.
There is no microphone, so public comment can come up.
I just have one question. Why aren't you guys dealing with the problem in this school district? You are the one governmental body that has the authority to hold our CEO accountable for the continuous mistakes and nonsense that our district has been living with for the last 3 years, 2.5 years. Why is it, what does it have to take for you guys to do your job and hold this guy accountable? You have the authority given to you by the state of Ohio and the Ohio Department of Education as an appointed commission to hold him accountable, and yet you have neglected to do so. And now we have a ton of teachers, 900 employees, the second largest employer in this city, now worried if they're going to get their paychecks because your CEO, who doesn't realize that's a violation of the law, comes out with the communication stating he's not going to pay people because the Board of Education won't remove their temporary protection order. That might be the most juvenile thing I've ever seen. So how many different mistakes? I just, again, I mean no disrespect to anybody sitting here.
Enough!
Your jobs are not easy, but it is enough. Enough is enough. It's time for this district to start recovering, moving on, and finding different leadership, because the leadership that you guys are supposed to be holding accountable isn't doing their job here. They're running our district into the ground.
Yes.
Children and parents are
We're here for them, not you.
Children and parents are fleeing this district. Our enrollment's decreasing. We have educators that love to teach our kids, that want to be here, that are fleeing because they don't want to be in this hostile environment. All I ask is you guys do what you need to do. Terminate David Harvey. Do it tonight. You have that authority.
Jay Picker, I'm the president of the Lorain Education Association and represent the teachers. I addressed this commission a few months ago with a very similar message. I understand that tonight, possibly in your executive session, you're going to discuss the evaluation of the CEO. And I want to point out to you that the CEO does not value evaluations. As we learned last spring, several teachers were informed that they'd be non-renewed with no evaluation. As a matter of fact, one of them was evaluated as skilled under the OTES evaluation system. Some of those teachers are not with us this year because of that fact. Okay? And I do recall last spring, and Chairman Sampson, your comment. If we hire a teacher and arbitrarily gave that teacher up or down, right down, at the end of the school year, and the teacher has to go home and speak to their family about that situation, that would be egregious. David Hardy is capable of egregious behavior, obviously. And I believe in evaluation, but I also believe in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think he has given this board the template for how he should be treated. You know, an evaluation now is a little late in the fact. So I would encourage you to make a decision, just as Mr. Demakia has discussed. Thank you.
In Washington, a parent, I update you all regularly on the tragedies that are occurring here. I don't get responses from most of you. I would like to know who is running the Twitter account that has been disrespectful and demeaning to our parents.
Well, I would like to make a public statement on my behalf. I am just as infuriated as you are, because my name has been associated with it, as well as every member of this commission, in regards to the images that were put out on this past weekend, and the statements and the propaganda. I, as one, Steve Coffin, have nothing to do with the Twitter Lorain Academic Distress Commission, and I would hope that whoever is running it would cease and desist immediately. Amen. Because it is an embarrassment to the people that serve on this commission. So I don't know if any.
And I agree, I was livid when I saw what was posted this past weekend, and we have brought this up before with no response.
I had crickets at the meeting.
It was juvenile, it was immature and unprofessional. And whoever operating that ABC Twitter needs to remove it immediately.
So who is it? Through the chair.
Who is it?
Mrs. O'Brien, are you running the Twitter account?
I am not.
Through the chair to Dr. Solis, are you running the Twitter account?
My account. I don't think.
Dr. Sampson?
I have my own personal account.
But are you running that account?
And you blocked me as a parent on that account, and I believe that it's illegal for you to do so. You are a public official, and you are not allowed to do so. Are you going to respond? Respond.
I have my own account.
But are you running?
But are you running the
So there's someone pretending to be the academic distress commission running it? That doesn't alarm you?
Does that concern
They're representing you.
Yeah, speaking on your behalf.
Wow, we need to find out.
Then the police need to.
Yeah,
Really accurate.
Maybe we need to
That sounds like
find
Restraining order?
I've sent in 2 complaints to Twitter,
So
but my ID badge didn't suffice for them proving that, you know.
Some of the same tweets that are on that Lorain ABC account are the same on yours. Same pictures.
You're lying. You're lying.
Last question. We have several questions at the last meeting. Do you have any answers to any of them? Standards-based grading, report cards, anything? Do you withdrawals from the school? Is there any answers to any questions?
Barbie, I sent 2 written correspondences to the CEO on 2 different occasions, and if I recall, it was on August 1st and August 12th, and I've got 0 response from the CEO on all of your concerns. So I'm sorry, I cannot help you on that behalf. I'm not getting any answers.
same as public records.
So I sent, I think the last thing that you spoke to me about was the grades, the report card grades. That had me concerned, so I called that day, sent an email, and I think I sent a follow-up to you.
Can you speak up?
I sent a follow-up to you about that. There was a glitch in the system somewhere with Power School, and I sent you a screenshot of what the communication team put out about that, and that's the last that I've heard of it. And I've not heard anything else about the report card to follow back up if there was anything else in there. So I just made the assumption that that was the resolution.
I have not received my daughter's report card.
And I asked about it as well, and I know that Dr. Solis did too, and we asked, please help this woman to have some resolution to this problem.
So Mr. Harvey.
I sent you the email that
I
showed,
did, yes.
showed the stuff that
So you
that's all I can control.
I can explain the report card to you. We were given, as a teacher, as a professional last year, we were given a thing that we were going to do standard-based grading. And so we were told to give, if the grade was 50% or higher, we would do a 2, which is failing. And this is grades K through 2. Now, they get a 1 if they get 50% or lower. And then 3 was 80%. They cannot get mastery in kindergarten through second grade. That's what we were told as a teacher, for grades. I don't know why that wasn't given out for parents, why that wasn't spoken, why you guys don't know about, you don't understand it. I'm just confused that you guys weren't told about this.
That is an issue, standards-based grading, but the crazy thing is my daughter is in high school and we didn't change our grading system and I still don't have a final report card.
So, just some clarification real quick, because I thought the issue was resolved once I sent that.
I did not receive a final report card for my daughter.
So you still have the same report that you received back in spring, or you just even didn't receive one at the end of the
I
spring?
received a quarter, it's at fourth quarter grades. And as you know, in high school, you have some, year-long classes, you have some semester-long classes. So I wouldn't know what her final grades were in those classes.
Yeah, so did that explanation help that I sent, or was that not the right explanation that they sent me? I didn't send it, but I forwarded it.
Well, I believe Mrs. Zander chimed in that that report card that was on that email was still incorrect.
I looked at it, it was not correct.
Because it didn't have the
It
final
didn't have
column?
final, all final report cards should have a final grade. Right, exactly.
I
For a
think the
semester
way,
class or all year long class, it should be a final grade column on the report card.
that's right. The way it looked was on the semester grade, it looked like the semester just had a grade on it.
Yes.
And then the year-long had a grade on it, so now you have to make the assumption.
If there's an assumption that the fourth quarter
the
grade
same as
is
the
the
semester.
end of the year or a final grade, that's wrong. It should be easy for a parent to open up and read and understand. And I expressed that. I commented and said that that's the way it should be, and evidently it hasn't been.
I hope that you guys consider that we don't know basic things. Their attendance issue is still, we talked about that. We don't have report cards. I mean, this has continued all year. We've asked these questions since September.
Thank you.
Barry Smigowski, taxpayer, okay? I live just a couple streets over from here. Who is running this place? Does this man answer to anybody? Because it's apparent that he's not answering to you. And you've given him the vainglorious title of CEO. If this was a business, it would be bankrupt. And that's apparently what has happened here. It's bankrupt as far as the students go, as far as the teachers go, as far as the parents go. Ohio is a home rule state. If you were to grade the performance of this CEO as you graded past superintendents, would you have kept him on? I don't think so. You were very quick to get out Dr. Graham, and you wouldn't have kept any of these others on. You're here to evaluate a man who apparently has refused to give you any information. So if he doesn't answer to you, What is your job, and why is he allowed to run amok, basically through this, as long as he's got the taxpayers' money coming in? There's no accountability in here. You've got parents that don't have final grades for their children. This has been nothing more than a cheap attempt by the previous administration of the state to destroy public education and destroy the teachers' union. That is all.
Speak, I have two questions. Were you aware of the raise that one of the chiefs received most recently? $220,000, $14,000 cash compensation for salary, and along with benefits, it was $20,000 in the end. No.
Who's the?
Yonkers.
Which chief are you referring to?
Yonkers, chief of people.
Okay.
She's been here 18 months, and she just received a $20,000 raise in a district that we've been told is not doing so well fiscally. So do you have any opinion on that? Is that something that can be retrieved if you deem tonight that the CEO, is no longer going to be employed here in Lorain City Schools? Is that something that can be retrieved and go directly to our kids rather than padding somebody's pockets who already makes a ton of money?
So that's something that we'd have to take a look at the contract language, because I'm not aware of that contract language.
There's no raise contract language. I actually have her contract, the one that's associated with Mr. Hardy at least, and there's no, I mean, is that even a thing? When you have a contract, they talk about raises? I mean, unless it's a set thing, but it's not a set thing.
Some contracts have performance bonuses in them and such, so I'll have to take a look at it.
Okay, and then I have a question about the curriculum. I know you're aware that lots of people are saying that the curriculum is not aligned, the new K through 2 reading curriculum is not aligned to the state standards. Have you looked into that?
I have not.
Why? I have attempted to look into it. I have asked questions, I have it in writing, and again, he refuses to answer my questions.
Are you saying you haven't? because she
I'm
has?
very concerned about the curriculum.
Does it bother you that she's not receiving answers?
It does.
Okay, good. Now, if the curriculum, I guess I'm confused because Megan Young, principal, who I'm assuming mistakenly shared raw data earlier in the summer about how her classes have done with the testing, is now still, she's not releasing data again, but she's saying, wait till you see it, it's so great. Okay, so if it's so great, then I would assume the curriculum we were using is wonderful if it helps them up their test scores. So why exactly did we need to spend $100,000 on a new curriculum? And why is it only for K through 2? If our current curriculum was okay for 3 through 6, why is it not okay for K through 2?
So my only push with curriculum is this. Curriculum is great. Whatever you use could be great. It's the people that matter the most.
Okay. I'm sorry, what?
So it's the people.
Well, then why were you not upset about $100,000?
But wait a minute, they show growth.
So why was that not necessary? When he purchased curriculum for $100,000, why didn't you say anything? Because you frequently talk about everything's great, look at these high fives that they just happen to catch on camera, look at all these great things that are happening. And anytime anyone who's like in the real world points out what's actually happening and like egregious things that are happening like they talked about, you attack and say, how dare you talk about negative things? You better stay positive, and that's awful, and you're a piece of crap because you talk about negative things. Like, no, we're actually living in the real world, and when you leave and go on vacation again, we have to stay here. I just bought a home this year, and I have a kid going into preschool and 4th grade. I don't want them here if he's going to still be here. I don't want them here if our curriculum sucks. I don't want them here if we're not going to have any money. And you won't give us answers. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? We're trying to get your attention. That's why we put out so much negative things, because they're happening. Like, this is reality. Please put aside the propaganda. Please put aside the fake smile, happy face. It's not real, and it's affecting us. Big time. Like my life. Their lives. Okay, please consider it.
I'll work with Mrs. Zander and we'll tackle this with
My name is Cheryl Drake. I've been in the district for 20 years and taught in the alternative schools, I taught at the middle school, I have taught at the high school, I taught at the 9th grade building, taught at credit recovery, and I'm here at Lorain High again. And, you know, we have professional development, we have weekly data meetings, we have TBTs, whatever you want to call them, and talk about best practices. It's all supposed to be about best practices. Well, as a best practice, when it comes to students who have special needs, who are included in a classroom, there should be no more than 25 to 30% of the classroom who have an IEP. And I'll tell you, in one of my classes, I have 18 students on my list as the general education teacher. My co-teacher has 14 on hers. Those 14 have math goals. So just in case you're not a math teacher, that's way over 30%. Keep in mind, also, on my roster, I have students who also have IEPs, 504 plans, and English learning language needs. All kids have needs, I get that. But when it's all about best practices, and that's what we hear from the CEO and his team, is that we need to share best practices, we need to follow best practices, but he's setting us up for failure, spending $100,000 on curriculums that don't align, which creates more work for us to figure out what to teach, not just how to teach it, and by giving us things that don't meet the best practice. And those students deserve better. They deserve being paid above a contract value, then getting another bonus, 2 new created positions if I'm not mistaken. Like, how about a couple more teachers so that we can get to less than 50? So my numbers are actually good. 30 in a class with 18, 14 or 17, 13. I have colleagues who are teaching Algebra 2, Algebra 1, history, whatever we all teach. They have 42 kids in a class. And they're close to 50% special ed. And then those intervention specialists are expected to be the ones who travel. And I realize it's a big situation to try to figure out this puzzle and the schedule and everything. But when we recognize kids have needs, and that they need something that's like not just show a video on the board or write on your board, but maybe they need manipulatives, maybe they need some extra resources, maybe they need some other experiences around them, to have their teachers, who are mostly the newer teachers in the district, go from not just room to room to room throughout the day, but room to room at the other end of the building on the next floor to a third room on the third floor. That is not a best practice. That is not in the best interest of kids. And that's why I'm standing here and getting heated about this, because what is being said and shared isn't what happens here. No. We're being set up to fail. And I can tell you, it feels like sabotage, because even as much as they gave us input on our SLOs last year, but our input consisted of sitting at a meeting with our, what did we call them, academy teachers, having a discussion. There was no vote at mine. They just took our input. And I asked, and I have my transcript of my notes that says, I asked, who will make this decision? The answer was the chiefs. So the chiefs chose that one of our SLOs which would inform our evaluations, which then makes the whole district be in the situation that we're in, says kids have to improve their attendance. Where do we get the attendance numbers from? Scholarship. And what do we know about scholarship? It's the 5th day of school, and I've had it work in 4 days, not every block every day. So the numbers are misleading too. I just want you all to realize and do something about the fact that we here do what's in the best interest of kids, and that's what we come here to do every day. And I'll speak for myself. I don't believe that that's what's happening from that building.
Good question. I know we spoke about it this summer too, so I was interested to see how it ended up working out with that tactic, the attendance. What's not working and how can it work better?
Okay, so just today, I had 3 new kids added to my list. So
3 new kids to the school or 3 new kids just to your class with your list?
I don't remember out of the 100 that I see. But I see their schedule, they tap in, and it beeps red, because we know that the system updates overnight. So that kid shows up as absent. That's my evaluation. That's our school district's evaluation right there.
Cheryl, are you saying that the attendance SLO again for this coming year's attendance?
I have no idea what that is. Because we haven't had any kind of meeting with Cheryl.
From last year, though, I know the scholarship was a problem all last year, from what I've been told. And so, okay, I just want to make sure I understand. So this year's SLO has not been set.
If it has, I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
It's just the person. But I've been trying to figure things out, you know, in the first 5 days.
Okay.
So the kids tap in, I'm having them sign in, then I am supposed to check it on the computer screen based on who's sitting there to see if they tapped in, and whether they tapped in or they didn't tap in, I have to fix it. And then I need to take paper attendance because our emergency policy says nobody's allowed to use phones. So how do you take attendance when you go out for a drill or, God forbid, a natural or unnatural emergency? You have to have paper attendance. And that's the only one that could be accurate at this point. No one has ever asked me for my paper attendance, aside from when I was subpoenaed to go to court because I kept meticulous records. No one has ever asked. What is the actual attendance?
Thank you. This is our last one. We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I won't take that long. I have one observation. Look at this room. Look at all the t-shirts. We're here for a reason. We care about the kids in this district. Many of us have roots here. Even if we have moved, we are still tied to this community. It probably would have been a better idea to have this meeting located in a place where there was enough room. You had to know there were going to be a lot of people here today, after yesterday. It just is one more disrespectful mark against the teaching body.
Well said.
Additionally, I have basically like 2 supervisors. I'm a special ed teacher in this district. I report to my principal, the 2 deans, and Jane Hawks. And when they ask me a question, I answer. Unless I misunderstand the relationship, all of you here are the person that Dr. or Mr. Hardy, I'm sorry, is supposed to answer to. Is that correct? And yet he is allowed to simply ignore. Another sign of being so incredibly disrespectful to the people that he is supposed to be reporting to. And I don't understand why that is allowed to continue. Response?
So some of the stuff that Mrs. Vander has mentioned is concerning. I did not know.
It's been happening since
Yeah.
January.
We all know.
You do, 100% you do.
I've tried to collaborate, I've tried to work together, it's been happening since January, and I've had 0 luck.
Do you ever include Mr. Sampson in your emails?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, so you did know.
Sometimes.
So you did know. You were on the email, so you did know.
So we'll tackle this
Okay,
together.
yeah. Well, I mean, I believe that I heard you earlier say that you had asked for information and didn't get it.
No, I did. It
Oh,
was,
you
it
did?
was the report card thing from this summer.
Is that all that you've asked for in regards to information?
Everything
No,
is
what
fine.
did you just
All
explain
we
to me,
asked for.
Mrs. Sander, that you didn't
But
get a
is
response
that
from
all that
anything
you've
prior to
asked?
that?
And the entire time you
What was
have
that
been
thing?
the head of this ABC, you've asked only that one question of Mr. Hardy?
No, no,
Do you see responses on a regular basis?
yes.
Oh, now you get.
As should
Then what are they? Tell us.
I said, as should everyone at this table.
That's right.
Okay, you got 2.5 minutes.
I'm Jack Bradley, and I grew up in Lorain. I attended Lorain City Schools. I went to Larkmore Elementary, Longfellow Junior High, Lorain High School, and I loved the Lorain City Schools. The Lorain City Schools did good things for me, but I guess that was a simpler time. Maybe we need to go back to a simpler time. I taught in the Lorain City Schools for 5 years. I taught 4th grade, Emerson Elementary School. And I loved teaching at Emerson Elementary School. The school board cared about the students. The administration cared about the students. The teachers definitely cared about the students. And we had great students. I had small classes. I had 20 people in my class. I think one of my students is here. And you know what? It was a simpler time. And we did our jobs, and the students were happy, and they're still my friends today. We need to go back to a simpler time. Now, there wasn't any CEO when I was attending Lorain City Schools. There wasn't any CEO when I was a teacher in Lorain City Schools. And we don't need a CEO in the Lorain City Schools. We need to go back to a simpler time. Thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate everybody. So we're going to go into executive session, consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, and compensation of public employees, and to discuss pending litigation. The commission may or may not take action upon coming out of executive session.
Can I get a motion? Mr. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Brien? Dr. Sanders?
And we need a motion to return from executive session.
So motion to return.
Second.
So moved.
Oh, sorry. Second. I'm famished, I think of Mr. Hero.
And then I think we need to take a roll call then.
Yep. Roll call. Mr. Tuck?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Sampson? Yes. Sleece?
Yes.
Zander?
Yes.
And so the commission has returned to take action out of executive session. So we have taken action. We have reviewed the 2017-2018 evaluation of the CEO, and also the 2018-2019 evaluation of the CEO. In that evaluation, there are 4 categories similar to the OPES state categories. So number 4 would be effective, 3 would be skilled, 2 would be developing, and 1 would be ineffective. And we gave overall grades or overall evaluations for those components. And the 2017-2018 overall evaluation was a 2.6. And 2018-2019 overall evaluation was a 1.6.
So we will now move to adopt that as the official evaluation of the commission.
So we're going to move to adopt that.
And do you want to maybe elaborate just specifically on what the 1.6 and 2.6 means?
So 4 is ineffective, 3 is skilled, 2 is developing, and 1 is ineffective. Those are the categories. Okay. Motion? We're going to motion to approve, I can't see.
Yeah, we should probably, whoever's going to make, should probably articulate it fully. Motion to,
I make a motion to adopt the evaluation of CEO David Hardy by the Academic Stress Commission. Is that good?
For those specific years.
Yes.
For the 2017, 18, 2018, 19.
Absolutely.
Second.
We're getting punched.
Okay. Roll call for a vote.
yes.
Okay. Roll call for a vote. Mr. Bowden?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Sampson, yes. Solis?
Yes.
Yes. Zander?
Yes.
Yes.
The motion is approved, yes.
And
If you want to say what your next course of action is, it's certainly up to you, and then we just move to adjourn.
All right. So the next course of action will be to follow the process, which will be having, the ADC chair will have a conversation with the details of the evaluation with the current CEO, Mr. Hardy, and we'll have a follow-up ADC board meeting in September and move forward with the business of the district. All right, adjournment.
So moved.
second.
Meeting adjourned. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. Roll call. It's not on the bottom there. So roll call.
Yes.
O'Brien
Yes.
and Sampson, yes. Solis
Yes.
and Mrs. Zander.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.